Hello and welcome to JoyRide with your hosts, the metaphysical moms, Tiffany and Carrie. JoyRide takes you on a spin through all things spiritual and soulful, including holistic healing, energy work, and personal development. Now, here are your hosts, Tiffany and Carrie.
Hello, Carrie.
Hi, I think we got it this time. Maybe it's only taken about a month to get this whole live thing worked out. And it's not really that it's an issue, it's just the phone. It's just getting it to go live because mine doesn't say, hey, we're live.
Hi, we're live.
Hi, guys.
Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live this Tuesday, September 19th.
Is it the 19th?
It is the 19th, isn't it, already?
2 days till the 23rd.
Welcome to our JoyRiders who are joining us all over the world. If you are, put a little link in here and let us know where you're joining us from because we want to talk to you today because we have a lovely guest.
We do.
Joining us. You're becoming a regular, my dear.
I sure appreciate it. Thanks so much.
This is Wendy Hutchinson, our fellow metaphysical mama here in Houston who we have learned so much from.
Mm-hmm.
And we just keep on talking like, we need to do another show. We need to do another show.
The conversation keeps going.
It does.
Well, that's what happened is I had a no-touch. She calls me and says, do you think it's time to have a no-touch? It's like, okay, you have clearly kind of read me, and I was like, no, I think I'm fine. And then we had breakfast, and it's like, yeah, I think I need my dander smoothed back. But it is, but we started talking, and you were very passionate about discernment and following your own path. And I said, ooh, we need to talk about this on the show because I'm getting this from other spots too. So
yeah,
you're here.
Yeah,
you're here.
You. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. And I want to jump just right in because I think we have a lot to cover.
Well, let's introduce you first for those who are
for
our Joy
a good
Tribe
idea.
who are new to Wendy. We've done a couple of shows with Wendy now. The first one was back in May, number 49. You can look that up, or back in June. But we introduce you. You are a life coach. You are a Marconics energy healer. You are a writer.
Yeah, a few things going on.
She has a lot going on. Your website, let's just throw it out there right now. It's alinealifecoaching.com, ALINEA, lifecoaching.com. So
yes,
you have a way about you of seeing where people are stuck, and not just in a 3D world, but in a spiritual, energetic way, and being able to help them move through. And Alinea, we've talked about this before, but it's helping you just shift your trajectory just a little bit. So Alinea is a line in French, correct?
To go offline. So it's just to shift your perspective or the story you're telling yourself just a little bit and step out of that block.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you just go a couple degrees, it just sets you on this completely different trajectory.
Yes, I love that. And
I mean, I think you do so much more than that. I mean, just by being around you, I don't know, you're not airy-fairy. And not that there's anything wrong with that either way,
Right.
but it's more of a grounded, solid, this is what you can do. These are some tools that you can try out. And if it works for you, great. Let me know. And, I have to share, though. So I did tell you about this. We were talking about dreaming, and, I get fragments. But through the years, I've had a few, like, really cool dreams that kind of tell me what's going on and where I need to go. And you said, just as you fall asleep, tell yourself that you want to remember, and you want to be aware, and it works.
Lucid.
Yes, and it really, really works.
Alert and aware.
Yes, and
if you ask your higher self that as you drop into sleep, then you can remember your dreams.
Mm-hmm. You can.
Lucid dreams, which sometimes aren't dreams, sometimes they're messages.
They are, except for my teeth falling out, which apparently that's a really normal one. I know. I was like, I need that front tooth. But okay, so so that brings me to the next spot. I think we really need to go on into what Marconics is, because
energy.
Yes, I talk about it a lot. It has changed my path. Really, it's kind of, strapped a rocket booster to my butt and off I go. And
That's what it does.
So, but to back up, and I know that we've discussed this on air before, but it is, one day I was sitting there and I read something and I thought, DNA upgrade. I'm ready for that. I would love that. I would love to go to the next phase and get there quickly, and I'd like to bring me with it. And you met with Tiff, and I couldn't go, And I'd never met you before, so you sent me this email saying, hey, you know what, I'd like to meet you and I'd like to talk about this. And halfway through I stopped and I called you because you talked about DNA upgrade and Ascension and all of these wonderful things. And I don't even think I've ever read the rest of what you sent. And it was like, sign me up. You said, well, you know, you can try the no touch or you can do the recalibration. Nope, I want the full meal deal.
It's really interesting because when I talk to people about Marconics, and I want to say Marconics is an Ascension energy modality. We don't sell ourselves or talk about really the healing aspect. The healing aspect is, you know, a byproduct sometimes when you come into alignment fully with yourself. Because I really feel, this is a personal opinion, that a lot of our illnesses are really a manifestation of us being out of alignment, either mentally, physically, spiritually, you know, just not aligned properly. So Marconics brings you into alignment, and it's an Ascension energy modality because we raise your vibration.
For the 5D.
Yeah, for the 50 and above. It's a multidimensional energy. We plug you into the unified field, which is a scientific term for the 3 fields of energy, which is your personal auric field, the energy field of the earth, the crystalline grid, so to speak, and then the universal energy field. We are the only energy modality that I know of that harnesses multidimensional energy and brings it in and allows for your higher self, the etheric energy of your higher self, to actually integrate fully into your physical vehicle.
Oh, okay, say that again.
We create sacred space so your higher self, that etheric energy, which kind of guides you in life to be the highest and best version of yourself, to integrate through the recalibration or even a no-touch in-person session into your physical vehicle. And once that energy comes in, you have full alignment with your highest self.
So tell us, why would somebody be out of alignment? Why would they not already be integrated with their
You know,
higher self?
In our society, we are so programmed to live in this paradigm to be things that don't resonate with us. No one really encourages you to follow your path.
No, they can't sell you. If they can't convince you that you're not enough of fill in the blank, then how do they sell it to you?
So everybody gets put in a box, and parents drink this, you know, Kool-Aid that says, you know, success looks like this.
Yeah, an artist or a writer, you're never going to make any money at it.
if you don't excel academically, but maybe you're an incredible with your hands, or you're super creative, that's not really fostered in our society. Success looks like material wealth,
right?
Education, happiness, or aligning with your soul does not.
You do that later. You do that after
when you retire or you die,
or maybe you go through your midlife crisis.
Yeah,
I mean, you kind of put that on hold.
Yeah, but in the meantime, everybody's, you know, given this message that they're not enough,
right?
If they're not hitting these markers.
Okay, so then what happens? Think about that. Only this amount of folk get actually into the high school, you know, to like the Harvards, the Ivy League.
So what happens is people start putting on all these masks to go like, yeah, I got this.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in college, but I hate school. Yeah, right. I'm an attorney, but I hate my job.
Right.
You know, but everyone's wearing all these masks that don't actually align with their soul.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of have this fake smile, like, yeah, I got my shit together. Yeah, it's all good, you know. And inside, you're dying,
right?
So
because you're not being authentic.
What does their energy look like if it's if their etheric energy is not in line with who they are portraying themselves to be? What does that do to your energy?
I feel like it manifests in anxiety, stress, depression. Low self-esteem, because you know you're not honoring your truth and you're just kind of living this lie. You know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I just saw? I just saw a person and they're atrophied, and where, like, this part's really big, you know, or their lips or their ears are really big, and then their heart's atrophied. And everywhere that there's atrophy is like brown green ooze. So it's like it what it does is it completely distorts us.
Yes, this misalignment actually starts to manifest in stressful.
Well, it comes out sideways.
It comes out in your body.
Right.
You know, now you're not sleeping. Now you got a rash. Now you've got back pain, foot pain, joint pain. Oh my gosh! Now you got, you know, digestive. These issues of not being in alignment. That the energy of that is going to manifest in your body.
Well, it's cancer. I mean, it is a cancer that eats away at you. And that's okay. So I think that there's a part to this that I really want to go there fast so that we can explore it throughout the show. Is that it is you freaked me out last night. You were telling me, you said, I don't channel, and your writings are phenomenal. I mean, I've written some things that have come through you, or not written, I have read some things that have come through you, and they're beautiful. And I mean, you're such a clear channel, but you said, nope, it all has to go through my higher self. And by doing this work and by connecting and going up, there is no longer a need for mediums, and that we have some dear friends that are, and they're incredible, but you can reach it yourself. You can know the answer.
Every person can, not just me, but every single person has access to their truth, which is the truth.
Right.
And your truth might look different from someone else's.
It's going to.
Right? Because everybody on an ascension path is traveling as it's a solo journey.
Let's say it again.
Yeah, it's a path for you back to your soul. And your soul is different from everyone else. And so we really need to be mindful that our journey is going to look different. Our ascension path is laid out for us. Our life experiences that we're having are presenting for a reason. They are causing us to look at ourselves and reflect back. Wow, I'm not maybe showing up as my highest and best here. What's this about? Why am I being triggered? Why am I so pissed off about this situation?
Yeah, right.
They're coming up so that we can examine and, you know, transform our lives.
Transmutation.
Yeah.
Again.
Not hold on to it. I think a lot of people get really bogged down in what they perceive as negative experiences. Yeah, stuff happens. We've all been through really difficult times in our lives, but they are presenting to you and giving you an opportunity to choose how you're going to respond to that.
Well, and I don't think that you can just say, oh, I see it, no big deal. I think that you do have to kind of...
You have to go there.
You have to go there, but not get stuck there. But there was that other piece that you were talking about, that you said that, you know, that you're very careful with
my energy and that, who taps into it, and
and you tell them to go to your higher self.
Yeah.
Tell that story. I love the way you said that. You were saying,
Which story?
Somebody was there with you. Okay, I'll tell your story. Somebody was there with you, and they kept going, hello, 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 meditate. Okay, go.
Yeah. So, gosh, you know, when you're kind of open, a lot of energy sometimes wants to connect to you. With expanded consciousness, you're in this vibration of like receptivity, and it was just maybe last week or something, I just felt like I can tell when energy wants to connect to me, because I feel like this expanse either in my third eye or like in my heart chakra. Like I feel like this energy building, and so I had to ask, you know, my higher self, is this energy in alignment with me, and is this divinely sanctioned in alignment with our higher self? And the answer was no, and I said, then you need to leave.
Gotta go.
Because I'm not talking to you, you know, so, and then it was gone. And then I had another situation where energy was trying to connect to me, and I asked the same question. I always ask the same question, and then I always ask my higher self if they're lying to me, because I just want to make sure.
So that's 5 times.
Because I'm totally neurotic now. I did ask 5 times. Are you lying to me? Are you lying to me?
Don't lie to me.
I
need
2 confirmations that this is in alignment, because I'm totally neurotic about it. But And I said, and then they said, yes, this energy is in alignment. And I said, well, then they need to kind of connect to you on that higher etheric level, and you can bring the information down to me.
Have you had experiences before? You say you feel neurotic about it.
Yeah, because I had a negative experience where some negative energy attached to me telepathically, and I didn't even realize.
How did that show up for you? How did you figure it out?
Well, I could tell by the thoughts in my head, and then I also got a confirmation from somebody else. So that was, and then once I got the confirmation, I knew exactly where it had come from. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so then you become like neurotic about being in alignment after that.
But then you got to let the neurosis go too.
I know,
though, right?
I do. I do. And what we need to talk about too is trusting yourself.
Well, that's what we said today was going to be discernment. Discernment on your path to alignment. How do you discern what's your truth versus what you've been told by the people who've gone before you or whatever? You know, how do you discern your way when it's sometimes very counter to what your society, your family, your church is going through?
That's the hardest part, right? Is standing in your truth, because people who are on an ascension path are going to start raising their vibration, right? That's what ascension is. You're getting better, and your vibration is rising. You're becoming a better person. You're making better decisions about your life. You're showing up with love instead of fear. Mm-hmm. All those things are the ascension path you're on. And what happens as you raise your vibration and expand your consciousness, energy and experiences start lining up with that. Mm-hmm. And they're not normal. You know, I mean, they're different. They're not
mainstream.
They're metaphysical.
Paranormal.
They're metaphysical. They are experiences that maybe somebody who is very rooted in the 3D paradigm of getting the job, making the money, being successful, and living in that paradigm they're not going to be able to relate or even know what you're talking about.
And they're not looking for it.
They're not looking for it. They're not interested, and they're going to tell you you're crazy. And if you're kind of having conversations with other energies, or even within yourself in your mind, sometimes you think you're crazy.
Right.
So one of the things I wrote down is, if you think you're crazy, you're on the right path. You are on the right path. Keep going. And then if somebody else thinks you're crazy, you've graduated even more. So keep going. You know, don't give up and question what's happening for you, because what's happening for you is your truth, and you need to own that. Believe that. Stand in your truth. Do not let the opinions of other people keep you from following your path. Ever.
That's so true. But
That's so true, but it's so hard.
Well, we have a lot of people on our Joy Tribe that feel alone. Their family has sort of either, called them crazy, disowned them. They're not really welcome. They don't have anything to talk about with them anymore.
They should call me.
And that's why
have a conversation.
That's why we created this show, is to have a place where we can have weekly conversations about this stuff, because we love it. We get together, what this happened to you, and I had this dream, and I felt this energy, and I got this message, and
well, that's the thing, though.
It's isolating.
It very much can be, and I know that at one point, Georgina, do you remember Georgina? Do you remember
Georgina Regan? Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing, and
healer.
she's lived it. She's been around forever. I mean, she wouldn't actually tell me how old she was. She stayed with me at one point, and she's really cantankerous. She kind of comes off kind of gruff, and like at one point I was going to the James Van Praagh thing, is at the very beginning, and she's like, "So what are you going to be are you going to be a psychic now?" I was like, "Well, I don't know." So I come home and I said, and she said, "Well, how did it go?" And I said, "Well, he's not who you think he is. I mean, he teaches, but apparently there were these two folks that went out and decided to, they went to his class, and then immediately went out and started to charge people to read for him, and he quit for like 2 years." And she said, "Oh, I like him. Could you get him on the phone?" I was like, "No, if I'm Oprah, no, I can't get him on the phone." And she's just funny. But I was telling her that Charles was having a hard time with this, and because I keep talking to him and I keep wanting him to agree and to validate, and he just looks at me with this weird stare. And she said, "Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him." She said, "He will ask you, but don't, because you're forcing this down his throat." And I thought, she's right. So
yeah, we need to stop seeking validation from the people around us, especially our spouses. This is a message from me to my husband. Sorry. He's tired of hearing it.
that's what we're for.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being there. But we need to really come back to center and reset and know that our truth is our truth. And that's all that you need to know. You don't need somebody saying you're not crazy. You don't need somebody sitting validating every mystical experience or dream. Or if you question that, even if you're even saying to yourself, gosh, am I crazy? You're slowing your process down. Any doubt, you're slowing your process down.
But that's a fine line.
Well, I mean,
because
there's
I think
discernment, of course,
you know?
discernment. But
I mean, if they tell you to go jump off a bridge and you'll fly,
yeah,
then that
but
might
if
be a
you
little...
keep feeling like you're crazy, and telling yourself that, you're holding yourself back.
Yeah.
You're not accepting what's coming in, really.
Okay, so that brings me to my next point. I last night sat down and I like to write, and sometimes, I mean, it just makes no sense, but it gets me in that groove, and I heard your voice saying, I'll go there, but I realized that it doesn't. When I go back and I read some of the stuff I've written, I've parroted. You know, I've the spirit. I mean, and I'm not poo-pooing it. It's just that it's this spiritual, what I'm supposed to say, and the verbiage, and it's not who I am.
And that's what we're talking about, discernment. So what I feel like is, you've got this buffet of information. You have Google out there. You have, all these different classes you can take, books you can read, seminars, webinars, whatever. There's so much out there, and we have to really be mindful that we're not, like you're saying, parroting or pretending to be something or be on a path that's really not meant for us, because each individual has a very clear, mapped out path towards ascension, and that is gifted to them, by them, for them. So when we talk about discernment, it's like, I say, it's kind of like going down a buffet line and you have this tray, you have all of this delicious stuff in front of you, but you have to really go, this resonates with me, and put that on your plate, or this, no, and step away from that. So it's really about being in your lane and following your path and going through that buffet line and really picking and choosing, and pretty soon you're going to have this full plate of information that's really going to resonate with you. And when you feel like, yeah, this makes sense, yeah, this is speaking to me, then that's what you want to follow.
Okay, but then there's that next step, and that's where I'm at, is that this doesn't work. I mean, the way people tell me I'm supposed to, and everybody says the same thing. You need to go inside, and you need to meditate, and you need to not do this, and you need to not do that, and you need to do this, and it is, and I'm just finding it doesn't work for me. It is
because you have to be on your own path. So then step away from
how do you do that? How do you? So you have this full plate.
Well,
and you're like, where's the fork?
You already know what doesn't work. It's not working. So step away from that. Just keep, taking your fork and scraping that off your fork.
I don't have a fork. That's
Okay.
my problem.
Okay.
And it is because I do hear it, and it comes in flashes, and I'm frustrated. So last night I sat and I wrote, and then I got this one thing that said something very nice, and I was like, oh my gosh, that could be, are you of the light? And then I started going down that. I'm like, I didn't hear them. I don't know if they're of the light or not. What did they say? And I'm like, oh shit. And I just quit. I was like, okay, never mind. I'll talk to her about it tomorrow.
You have a fork too. You sit and paint, and when you paint and you get to
That's what I wrote about.
place when you're on the grid and you're talking to your grandfather, you have forks and knives, and you have all kinds
Tools.
of cutlery there. Yeah.
But it's so disjointed. It's just so disjointed. I see your path. It's very clear to me. I see your path. You don't even see the full extent of your path, but I see your path. But it is that, maybe it's always that way for yourselves.
I think
But my
it's
brain is
often
like a
that
rabbit.
way. Yeah, it's hard to see your own.
I also want to say we need to stop looking at left and right, at where
I
everyone
agree.
else is, and feeling like we're behind, or like this is some sort of race where you're graded, or there's a timeline and you need to hurry up and catch up. And I kind of said something, this analogy I was shown is like, when runners are on a track, in a track race, and you're in your lane, and you're running, and you're watching on TV this track race, and someone looks so far ahead, but it's deceiving because it depends on what lane they're in.
And it doesn't matter anyway.
And it doesn't matter.
I guess not race it.
So, well, I mean, I'm just saying that it's deceiving. I think it's human nature to compare, like, where am I? Oh my God, they're having this incredible experience, and a lot of times I'm in like silence. Like a lot of times I'm just really in the zone, and I'm just like present, and I'm just silent, and I'm not having incredible visions, or, I'll get what I need.
Seriously, you feel that way? Almost everyone I know that is so in tune feels that way. That they don't.
Like I'm in the void.
Yeah, but you're not. I mean,
No, I'm not. It's like I'm in this.
Down.
I'm in the space before creation. Like I'm in this set point. That's where I am.
Well, you've had some pretty incredible experiences.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't, because I do, but it's what I'm saying is it's very easy to compare yourself to other people who are having daily validations and mind-blowing experiences. And I asked my guys about them, my higher self. I'm like, what's up with that? Like, I kind of want that. What the hell? Shit. And they're like, Wendy, you know what? Everyone is given what they need to keep going. So that's those experiences are kind of the validation they need to keep going forward, or the carrot that's kind of pulling them forward on their journey. You don't need that. Okay? We're not giving that to you. Like, they pretty much straight up said,
That's not on the buffet.
It's not on your buffet. It's not in your buffet line. You have a lot of empty plates, and then, wow, something cool, and then, empty dishes, and, wow. So what I need is kind of spaced out, I guess.
And then it's really big.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, do you ever, though, sit and think, this reality that we've tapped into, or I'm not really sure what the right words are, that it feels good, and and I don't do this very often, but every now and then I'll see it through Charles's eyes, and it would be so much easier in some ways to just go back to sleep. But you can't unlearn what you know.
Once you peek behind the curtain and you see, oh, there's all that going on back there.
Yeah.
But then you're talking about empty plates, and when I get that feeling, sometimes I find the miracle in the smallest little flower budding. Or
do.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, it's right there. It's so beautiful.
You should go on a nature walk with her. Look how perfectly imperfect it all is.
So pretty. And then I'll have days where I'm like, I know nothing, and I am getting better about going, this is just a feeling. This is just a feeling. Yesterday you were on cloud 9, and this is just a feeling that you feel.
Sometimes we need to separate from our thoughts.
Oh, like all the time.
Because they just send you on these.
That's where my tapping comes in. I'm like, these thoughts, just, let them go, and the feelings they create.
So Marconics energy is kind of like it's an ascension energy in that we raise your vibration. So we move you into a different frequency. And by doing that, and also by releasing your karmic debris and things that are associated that have been kind of holding you back, it lightens your load. We lift you up, and that vibration is going to make it a little easier for you to deal with things that are triggering you in your life, or difficult situations that you kind of get stuck in here in the 3D. You kind of are able to distance yourself and let things kind of skip off and approach your life in a more positive and graceful and loving way. And also by removing, if you do a recalibration, we remove 51% of your karmic debris. So it's really going to lighten your load a little bit. You still have to do a lot of personal work, but it's just kind of a leg up.
Well, and we talked about that in other shows, about how can you lift somebody's karma. But we're saying this is the energy that's coming in that's allowing us to say, okay, people, we know you're light workers. We know you're walking your path. Let's help take some of that burden off of you. give you that
because
boost of
do you
light.
notice a lot of light workers are suffering a lot?
Struggling, yeah.
They're struggling. And they're taking on everyone's energetic stuff. Maybe they're empaths or, you know. I know a lot of light workers who are so gifted and they're struggling with, I think, just living here in the 3D. I think they're so
sometimes.
open,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that was Allison Coe. She and I talked for a long time yesterday. It was just perfect, you know, when you can actually, everybody's at home cleaning or, you know, something, everybody has the time. And she was saying, we're not meant to live in the 3D. I mean, we're meant to kind of be above the earth at this point. I mean, you have to come down sometimes, but to live in that space above feels so good, and it does help in entrainment. It does help for others to kind of...
So that to me is living in the present moment, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
Just the present moment. Not,
That's all you have.
That's all you have.
but
Is
that,
this moment right now.
But that
so
shifts you out of the head, the ego, the mind,
Right.
the wheel of spinning.
Be
when you're in
present to what
moment.
is exactly in front of you right now, because that is all that is real.
Yeah.
That moment right now. The future is yet to unfold. The past is completed. All that is available and real and tangible in your life right now is this moment right now that you're living in.
Yeah.
And then you step into the next moment. And every single decision you make is going to move you closer to your ascension path or move you backwards. So the whole point of humanity is evolution. We're here to evolve. We're here to become better versions of ourselves. And I think we owe it to ourselves to follow that path. And as a result of us showing up in integrity and being the best version of ourselves and being mindful of the choices and behaviors we're showing up in, that is going to have a ripple effect on everyone around you, even though you might be finding a lot of criticism on your path. People are noticing what's happening with you. They are going to notice, even if they're criticizing you, they're going to notice that you are becoming a more loving human being, that you are thinking more about others than yourself, that you are starting to allow your light to shine, that you have dulled for a lifetime.
Yeah, and sometimes the way you respond to a negative situation teaches a lot of people around you.
You might not hear it. You might not get
but
that
they go, oh.
verbal validation.
I was listening to Alba Weinman, one of her past life regressions, and one of her client was under hypnosis and in a past life had this encounter with this other person from a lifetime ago, and the way that person reacted really responded to me. I was like, okay, so another lifetime, another person playing a minor part really resonated with me in this century, in this time. It's like you have no idea the ripple effect, literally, across time and space, that how you're going to touch people.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I want to say hi to our friends who are joining us on Facebook Live. Thank you. We have a lot of people stepping in to say hi. Sabine, Tammy from Tennessee. Hi, Steve from Atlanta. Hope you guys are high and dry there. Jolie, Carrie, Silver Lining, Shiny Girl.
Hi, Carrie.
Come back.
Ben, yeah, we'll see you guys next weekend. Is it
With Nora?
with Nora?
No, that's
2 weekends.
2 weekends.
We'll see you for sure.
you're
Rose,
coming
hi
too.
Donna.
Yeah.
Jolie says, my husband said I need to call one of you the other day. Yeah, when husbands give you that blank look, like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that means. You need to call us.
I believe you
Absolutely.
believe it.
Daniela, yes, we're in Houston. Are you here? Drop us a line so you can join our Joy Tribe here. Hi, Nora. We can't wait to see you.
Nora's got some cool stuff working.
Brenda, yes, absolutely. Kathy, hi everybody. And Kathy's from Minnesota. So good to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And if you have any questions for Wendy Hutchinson here, drop us a line. And Sarah, hi, sweet Sarah.
Sarah, I was thinking about you this morning. I miss you.
So we're not alone. Look, we have our whole tribe here jumping on to say hi. I love that we're all in this conversation together.
Yeah.
I know. And I think that, you know, I want to talk to, tell us again how the Marconics energy came to the earth. Because I know I tell it, and I don't know if I morphed it.
Well, I believe, and I'm speaking as a practitioner, and what I believe is true, so I hope I represent the story accurately for Allison and Lisa, who are kind of like the the mainstay of Marconics. But there was a planetary alignment, like we completed a cycle, like 26,000 year cycle. And the way our planet aligned opened up a channel, or I don't know if you want to say a portal or something. Let's just say portal, even though I'm sorry if I'm messing this up. But there was a portal available that allowed for this energy to be channeled in and brought in and shared with humanity here. And it really was a pivotal time because a lot of people have not been choosing ascension. A lot of people aren't even aware that that's a thing. But people have been getting really trapped in the fear frequencies and the negativity.
It's by design.
And anxiety. Yes, it is. But people are not even aware of
that
how
it's a choice.
That it's a choice and how it's affecting them. And so that's kind of showing up as living in a victim mindset. Gosh, just responding to their lives rather than being empowered and realizing they get to create the outcomes in their lives. And that's disempowerment and connection to this lower, what I would call lower vibrational energy, has kind of created responses to situations that create more karma. Because maybe someone triggers you and you're flipping them off, or you're cutting them off, or you're punching them in the face, or you're pissed off and you're engaging in, you're stepping up and stepping into the fight, you know, rather than saying, you know what, I'm going to allow you to have your opinion and let's just agree to disagree and take the high road. That would be kind of
Hold space.
Yeah, hold space for them and hold yourself in integrity and not go there. We don't have to be that. We can make a choice to do something different.
That's true.
You know. But anyway, so the energy was brought down to help people raise their vibration. It's like a boost.
Miracle Grow.
It's it is, right? The people that have experienced it realize the positive impacts that it's had, because when you raise your vibration, you're going to create a vibrational bandwidth that's going to bring the highest and best outcomes to you, because you are in the vibration of the highest vibration possible for you.
Right.
You are ascending.
It doesn't mean that stuff doesn't happen to you, though, and that you
don't get pissy or bad
or you don't have your old stuff come up. It's not like this walk in the park all day.
My kid almost died.
Just
crap
a couple
happens
months
to
ago.
you.
Has that been a year ago now?
No, it was in April.
It was just in April?
Yeah.
It was not even 6 months ago.
So
Wendy's son literally on his motorcycle got hit by a car, laid out on the freeway,
completely
rushed to the emergency room.
Incapacitated,
and they bolted him back together.
Literally screwed him back together.
And he lived with you until he was like, okay, I can walk, and then he's off on his own again.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so...
But I mean, so stuff happens. Negative stuff happens
Oh, my
to
gosh.
you. But you get to choose how you're going to respond to your life circumstances.
And you said that brought you a lot of huge,
Spiritual
profound lessons. Brought you to your knees, control, love,
I had to surrender,
unconditional.
and I had to practice gratitude. I had to go in my spiritual toolbox and be really disciplined about, meditating and practicing gratitude and seeing the bigger picture. Because there is a bigger picture. I think we kind of get sucked into the minutia of life.
Sure.
Our kids not listening, or somebody not being on our program, or whatever it is. We get kind of, sucked into that. So it's really important to see there's a bigger picture here. And the bigger picture for me was, and I was told this moment, this experience with him is the entire reason we incarnated into this life.
Wow.
It was the resolution.
The two of you together.
Yeah, my son and I have had so many lifetimes together. But it was the resolution of this karmic wheel we had been on for lifetimes. And this accident was...
No accident.
Which was no accident, was actually the catalyst for healing and completing that karmic wheel.
And does he see
I
it
felt
that way?
that.
Does he recognize
No,
that?
he's like, I don't want to hear your spiritual bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, but
He's a very spiritual soul.
I was going to say, I
He's-
think he is so.
But
deep.
he's not. He's a very highly evolved spiritual being. He hasn't stepped
He's not
into
vocalizing
that,
it
into
all,
that
then.
power.
And she's down there doing more
Marconics
Marconics
on him when he's asleep.
somebody doing this, and then she'll just like throw him one. Very soon too.
Sometimes just being in the room, you're always beaming Marconics as a
Well,
practitioner.
but he healed
and
so
stuff.
quickly.
He healed very
and
quickly.
he's doing
Freakishly
okay?
fast.
Yeah, he's doing okay now. But what I'm saying is you can have really difficult situations happening and coming up for you in your life. But we have to take responsibility for how we show up and
yep.
respond.
Well, like Houston, we've just been through this crazy hurricane and Hurricane Harvey, and so many people are flooded. And we have, I think, as a city, have really shown up in a very powerful way. I'm very proud of us.
I feel like Houston's raising their vibration.
Yeah,
because there's this collective love and energy of giving.
Transmutation.
Yes, people are stepping out of the me, and like, how can I show up? What can I do? Can I go help clean? Your scout troop did work. Carrie, you've, shown up to help people clear out flooded, spaces. And
I was somewhere last night, or somewhere yesterday. I hear this guy honk his horn. He's like, "Get out of the way!" I was like, "Oh yeah, they were back. Here we are." You know what though? This is, and I hope it's okay to take it here. So my experience, and I can only speak to myself. So I had my upgrade, and it's slow, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, aliens, okay, this. What I see is things start coming in that I have never really thought about before, or I thought about it and it just freaked me out. I'm like, oh, that's just freaking crazy. And
kind of cracks you open because you get to a vibration where all of that stuff is now, matching that vibration. It's kind of like presenting. You're like, oh.
okay, now where do I
What?
file this? I mean,
What do I do with
There's
this?
a whole nother level.
There's no file box big enough
I
for
know.
some of that.
I get a
those
lot of phone
concepts.
calls like, so you might think I'm crazy, but I'm seeing sacred geometry. Or
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you're not crazy.
No,
That's
it's
normal.
just, it's time.
I'm
Well,
reading Chariot of the Gods. I don't know if you've read that. It's
No.
a book all about
I have to
pyramids.
be telling her my
That's
story.
sorry.
My story. So
Okay,
it
what's your
is. Well,
story?
you know my story because you were there. So then I go back in for a no touch, and it's like,
yeah.
okay, there's this big blue being. I just peeled open like a banana. I'm really. What? It's just this what, and just the messages they gave me were amazing. But
You get a lot of clarity and truth. When you get on the table, because this is your higher self coming in, you're getting alignment. You're getting information that's like so clear and so true for you that and you're like, wow.
But what's weird though is that I could connect what I was told back with my life between lives.
Sure.
With Nora, and I didn't put that together because I don't remember it, and I didn't go back and read it. And so I was talking to her, and she's like, yes, don't you remember when you said this, and don't you remember when your soul said that? And it's like, no. And she said, well, okay, I'm going to resend that to you because it is. So it's really, it's
Right.
really profound.
Validating in other ways. Yeah.
It is, and
Yeah, when you have
highly
Marconics,
recommend
that it's literally cracking you open. I mean, you realize there is a lot more to you than this physical vehicle.
And your personality or your
There's a soul in here.
Yeah.
That there's a spiritual being that is the essence of you. You are, if you reduce yourself down to the very base, you are energy and consciousness. You are those two things. And as we go through life, those two things are completely ignored because they're not addressed. Because
energy. Should we do
Oh,
our
okay.
energy ball?
Oh yeah,
We did
Okay.
this with the
Okay.
kids, and they thought this was so cool.
This is a little tiny. It's called a UFO
Can they
ball,
see
a little
it?
energy ball. So for those who can see it on YouTube, it's just a little circuit, and when you touch it, you complete the circuit. So one finger is touching it, but I can hold hands with Carrie, and she
Okay.
can touch it,
See,
and we
then-
complete the circuit.
Okay.
And then Wendy can touch the ball.
Okay. Now I'm gonna let go of Wendy's hand. See the circuit?
Yeah.
We're all energy.
Right.
Yep.
And you could get 100 people in a circle and touch this, and the energy.
And if one
transfers through
person broke the channel, it probably wouldn't.
Right,
buzz,
it won't.
right?
It won't.
Exactly.
It won't
Right.
buzz. Isn't
They
that
can't
so
coerce.
cool? It's such a cool little display that we are energy beings. We're energy
We're
circuits.
energetic beings, so let's be mindful
and we all
of that.
influence each other.
We do, and people are radiating energy vibrations out subconsciously all the time. So let's...
Well, and the way I love that, because the way I look at that is I'm putting it out and it's looking for a match. It's out there looking for a match to bring back to me. And so if I'm like, fuck you, asshole, then it'll find that vibration and it'll pull it back. I was at Whole Foods one day and I was on the phone and I didn't want to be there. And I was like, this man honked at me and told me to get off my effing phone. And I was like, I know I hated this place. Where I go to a different grocery store, it's like, oh, kumbaya, and everybody's kumbaya back. I mean, it really will go out. And
there's an energetic echo for what you put out.
Mm-hmm. But that's like, you talk about the tuning forks. I love that visual of the tuning forks.
Well, it's a scientific proven. You get a tuning fork that's a C. If somebody else strikes a C, my C will resonate.
Right.
If I have a B flat, it won't resonate. It's the vibrational waves that hit it.
The match.
Don't match. So if I'm angry and I'm dinging my anger, I'm going to ding your anger and I'm going to trigger your anger. But if same with joy, love, peace, whatever, if I'm dinging my love, everybody has it. It's going to resonate with yours.
What if you're on drugs? What if I smoke pot and I'm really, really happy? Does that come back? Or is it distorted because I've done X or I've done something?
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, I don't either. We'll have to think about that.
Honestly.
I
don't want to make something up.
I would... My feeling is, and Bashar's talked about this before, once you find that frequency with a substance, you don't need that substance to find that frequency again.
That makes sense.
You just you tune into it. So it might be a bridge to help you find something, but you don't need it nearly as much as a lot of people are using it.
But people may do it because it's an easy, instead of doing the work and finding it.
So it is a synthetic way to get there, but if it helps you find that frequency of love or peace or happiness, whatever, you can mentally teach your brain how to find that frequency on its own.
Unfortunately, people don't always realize that, and they just want to keep popping the pill.
Well, it's easier, though.
Smoking.
It really is easier.
Whatever, but I don't recommend.
Well, it's usually got side effects that don't, a lot of people have side effects or there's issues with it.
So I just want to say really quickly that I
love this book.
No, quickly. You have as much time as you want.
Thank you. This book, Marconics, The Human Upgrade, is the first book written by Allison David Bird, who was
let's hold it up so we can see.
It's a really good book. I have this book.
Talks about how Marconics came to be, and they just wrote their second volume, which is Angels of Atlantis, which is going to come out on Amazon in the fall. So probably, I'm thinking October, November on Amazon. It won't
this fall.
This fall. It won't be available on Kindle, but it will be available on Amazon. So if you're interested in kind of learning more the backstory or the whole story, it's really interesting.
It is a good book.
Read.
Yep.
And might address some of the questions that people have.
Thank you for that. You had some other
so I kind of wrote down these items to kind of help people who are going through Ascension.
Because if you're on a spiritual path, you know it. You feel that pull.
So.
You feel
you're interested.
And these are things that really helped me, so I wanted to share them because there are a lot of people that it might help. I mean, and if it doesn't resonate, that's okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that.
Discernment.
Yeah, so the first one was question everything and make sure that whatever you are bringing in to your, onto your plate really aligns and resonates with you. The second thing I said was Google and YouTube are your best friend. Because you're going to get words that present. You're like, what is this? I don't even know what this is. And then you look it up on Google and here's this whole, oh my gosh,
Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah, it's actually a thing. So look stuff up, But again, there's going to be all kinds of information. So you have to really be careful to make sure it aligns with you.
During that one no touch where that whole group came through, I kept hearing that word. I'd never heard this word before. And so you wrote it down and we went back, we looked it up, and it fit perfectly.
I got the word sovereign in a meditation once. I was like, sovereign? What is that? And I know what it means, but what did that mean to me? And I looked it up and it fit exactly what I was looking for. Yeah.
So I wish there was a galactic Google, but
Get on
regular Google and YouTube, and if you have questions or geometric shapes presenting or words, it's really helpful. It kind of, helps you along your path. The next thing I said is, if you question your sanity, you're on the right path.
And if other people question your sanity, you're even more.
That might be the next one.
Exactly.
They say a lot of people in a mental institution are probably very empathic, psychic, having spiritual,
Yogananda said that.
Yes.
Yeah, Yogananda was saying a lot of those people are connected to
and
another
even
realm.
autistic children.
Yes.
There's a new
they're
movie
such
about
advanced beings that, you know, and everyone wants to put them in this box, and they don't really fit in the 3D paradigm. They're so advanced. I mean, they're communicating telepathically.
And they're in the moment.
They
show
don't
on
need
this.
to be speaking because they are communicating telepathically.
Emma speaks with her girls telepathically,
Yeah.
and she's like, they are very much in the moment.
And they're very much aware.
Mm-hmm.
They just communicate differently.
There's a new show. It's on Uverse, and it's not show, but film out, and it's called, I think it's called Poe, and it's about a father who lost his wife, and he has a son that's autistic, and he goes to this place, and he's in this place. He's completely out of his body. I mean, anyway, it's on Uverse right now.
Okay.
So it's about that.
The next thing I said is, wherever you are on your journey is exactly where you need to be. So honor that.
And that's the quit comparing to where everybody else is on the race, or I should be there.
Trust
or
yourself.
Why am I
That's not
still
simple.
here?
Trust the process, because wherever you are, even if you feel like, even if you were super depressed and then you just went to anger, that was ascension. Okay, you moved the needle. Someone up here might be like, man, you're so not on the path. But for you personally, if you move the needle up one notch, you are.
Right.
You know, so be mindful of that.
Yeah.
The next thing I wrote down was, you will arrive right on time. So don't sweat it.
We're knocking on however old we are, 49, 48, and I keep thinking, oh, I'm getting so old. I wish I would have started this years ago, you know. And so that I love that one, because I really do.
You're going to arrive right on time. So
Esther
don't worry
Hicks is
about
always
it.
like, you'll never get it done. You can't get it wrong, and you'll never get it done. I mean,
It's not a degree.
And
Yeah,
the
there's
thing,
no
and the
journey,
thing with
there's no
Ascension
destination.
too, I was shown this, that, you know, we think of it as this skyrocketing path up, but what I was shown is that it never ends. No matter how far you ascend, there's another wheel to step on.
Yeah.
And
like a
more
spiral.
to master, and then when you master that, then you go on, step onto the next wheel. So it's an endless soul journey. So
tired.
there's no, I know, it's not like you get to finish and have a beer, you know, be like, yeah, I made it.
You just have to have
know?
a beer on the way.
Well, and Eric
Yeah.
talks about that, you know, for folks who feel like this life is too hard and maybe take their life or commit suicide. Their soul doesn't just go, okay, now I'm done. It has to pick right up there where they've left
Yeah.
off, and then clean up that karma that created, and then keep
It's a
learning that
setback,
lessons.
actually,
It's-
by checking out.
There's no
early.
checking
well,
out.
but it can
yeah.
be part of your contract.
It can be.
Because with him, it was part of his contract. And so, but I think that he said
But
that's
that's
pretty
the
rare.
exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
The
But
rule.
But do you know, and this is an offshoot, do you know, and I've recently read about this, that there are some beings out there, like, I don't think in our world, but out there, that really can get so degraded and so dark that they will get sent back. They get totally reset, where they're not even knocked down a few pegs. They go back to source, and they have to start all over. Those are beings that are like truly purely not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Squirrel moment.
No, that was very profound. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
sharing that. This kind of goes back to the crazy talk. But if people around you think you're crazy, and I will say that many of my relatives think I'm crazy, so I'm just going to put it out there. You're not alone. If your relatives think you're crazy, I think my husband probably thinks I'm a little crazy. He won't say it because
He loves you.
he loves me, and he doesn't
Those
want
are
to hurt my
butt-kicking words.
doesn't want to hurt my feelings. But he probably thinks I'm a little crazy too. So you're not alone. But I wanted to say congratulations. If your relatives think you're crazy, or your friends, you've stepped out of their paradigm and are expanding your consciousness. So
Say that again.
Rock
Say that
on.
again. If you've stepped out of their paradigm,
you've stepped out of their paradigm and are expanding your consciousness.
And you'll be the first one they call when, like, they
Shit
get a
is-
cancer
yep.
diagnosis or some crazy things happen. They'll be like, what does this mean? And you'll be the one to help heal or help guide.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's right.
it will come back around.
Yeah, so don't lose hope. We love you and we know that you're okay.
Yes.
I want to
Okay.
let you know
Yes.
that. The next one is stay in your lane. Like I was talking about
Yeah.
the track.
I love that.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. It's so easy to lose hope and think, oh, I'm so far behind. And then, you know, you get these mentors in your life. You think, God, they know so much and I know so little. And, you know, just keep taking the next step. Just stay in your lane. Don't look right or left because your ascension experience is for you. And you alone, only you in this whole universe, you get to have your own experience of ascension. So this is really important.
Can I tell you that last night in my meditation, whatever it was I was doing, the writing, that's exactly what they said. They said that there is okay, I think this is really a cool thing. There is an energetic imprint, and it is as unique as our fingerprints. And that ascension, it's a vibration, and that if I try to move into your vibration, then it's not going to work.
Nobody's home
That
at yours.
When you click in, you go clink, then, and it's only for you.
Right.
And that's why you have to do it completely your own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can gather tools along the way, but you will morph that into your own. And so, and it's so funny, it's just flashed.
That's
written it
I got a
truth.
down.
body chill when
That's
you said that,
truth.
too.
That's absolute truth. Yeah. So remember that. That's why maybe I'm not having the amazing daily validations. I asked for this validation on this question I had the other day. I said, if this is true, I want to see the numbers 5555. Okay? I just asked for this validation. All day long I'm looking. I see 1111, 2222, 7777, 6666, 000. I mean, I've never seen
You missed the
so
5.
many. I saw everyone except 5, and I was like, what the fuck? Seriously? I go, are you serious? You're not going to give me 5555. And it was so obvious that they were like showing me every other number, right?
They're jacking
I
with
was
you.
so pissed off. I was so pissed off, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know? And they said, we're not going to show you 5555. You do not need to see that. Okay? You know the truth. You know the answer. Stop.
Quit asking.
We're not going to
stupid
show
questions.
you 5555. I was so mad. You know, but then there's other people who get like the validation, like boom.
But you're not other people. And
I'm not other people.
So you know
for
how my
sure.
head tingled? You said, okay,
Yeah.
learn yes and no. You can
Yeah.
talk to your higher self and you can
Discernment.
ask.
Yeah.
It tingled. It tightened when I was there with you.
It
Didn't
did.
do it again, ever. So I'm like, okay, is this good or bad? Hello? Are you on a break? Are you smoking? Where are you?
I don't know what to tell you about that.
I don't
But
either.
pay attention. They're talking to you. You just have to hear. You have to be open to hearing, you know, what they're saying.
Yeah, I'm not open.
Yes, you are.
I'm open.
Wide open.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
And the next thing was stay in alignment with your truth. And the final thing.
What does that mean, though?
Stay in alignment. Own your truth. Always come back. Everything you do is either not in alignment or in alignment with you.
So you have to figure out how that feels.
Are you
first.
at the fair eating fried Twinkies? Is that in alignment
Fried
with
butter.
you? You know, or are you vegan? Maybe being vegan's in alignment with you, so a fried Twinkie is not. You know,
Still vegan.
is
Not if it's fried in
I
lard.
don't think so.
No, you're
Anyway.
saying, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I know what
and
you're saying.
it comes to mind like the 4 agreements: be impeccable with your word.
Right.
You know,
Right.
there's things you can do to really feel like you're being your truth. Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
I think the first thing is knowing how it feels, like to consciously be aware of, and that was one of the first things that I realized is like, ooh, that didn't feel good. I just
Right.
slammed that chick, and that did not feel good.
Because that's not who I really am.
right.
You know, it's
And-
those recognizing those feelings and going, okay, next time I'm going to do better.
Right.
I'm not
And
going to
be
flip
kinder.
that guy off that cut me off next time, you know, or whatever. Because we want to just be in alignment with who we are.
Right.
Nora's saying you were looking too hard. You wouldn't have seen it even if they showed you 5555.
Yeah. Thanks, Nora. I think
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That's a good
noticed
point.
everything else. Maybe it was out there on a truck or something.
Oh, and Jennifer's saying her mom totally didn't get her and her aunt's discussion about ascension and enlightenment. It's like, whew, you know.
Yeah. Also, I want to say one more thing. I think we need to respect everybody for where they are on their journey.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So people can't show up for you who aren't in your same, they can't necessarily show up the way you want them to, because they're only able to show up in the way they're capable of, in the bandwidth or frequency that they're
can't pry open their third eye.
living in.
Well,
Yeah.
third eye violation.
And there's a bigger thing going on too. Like when we look at our husbands, and it seems to be the husbands, the partners that have created and have held space for us.
Yeah.
And they're there, and you don't know that they're not playing that role perfectly, and because they are. And that is, my husband, God love him, I get all the time, and I know we're almost done.
Oh no! I felt like we need like 30 more minutes.
Yeah.
Bobby's like, no.
Wendy, you have to come back.
Oh gosh.
Part 2.
Part 10.
We're going to abruptly say goodbye. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Facebook Live, and thank you, Wendy,
Comments
for coming in. Oh my gosh, like sliding into home base here.
Oh gosh.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me.
Bye,
Thanks, guys. See you later. I love this.
I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.